Kev here with a lean update for the first week of August, and this week got loads of improvements, but wanted to reflect on something that Phil put in his video about being grateful for problems as they come up, and it gives you an opportunity. So I've had a few problems and I'm trying to be grateful for them. So the first big one is that it's a summer holidays, school summer holidays. I've got two youngsters that are off school, so I'm having to fit what usually takes me 4-5 days into 2 days. So I've actually had my biggest ever week and I've got it done. It's taken me 3 because I had to do a few evenings, so it's made me quicker. So I've had to find new ways of achieving the speeds that I need to, but that'll be with me forever. And the next one is the old war dials. I've got the best ever result after working with the screen printer. These are fantastic, and I've made a couple of sets, but it's on a half sheet. So that is half or twice as much laser registration. So again, trying to be thankful for the problem. What I'm going to try and do is make a pin dowel jig to register on these. So rather than laser registering, I'm going to hopefully have some holes that I can drop them into, which means I could put 2 on there, and it'll take me probably something more like 15 seconds to drill 2 holes than it will a minute and a half to laser register it. So again, I've been presented with a problem, but that's given me an opportunity. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to take me in a good week or so because I've got to order dowel pins and the right kind of drills and stuff. But an interesting point anyway, so thanks for that, Phil. And I'll get into the various improvements that I've made this week.
Okay, so first improvement, what you're looking at here is how I now do changeovers. What I used to do was do processing on the bed, but now I scrape it all, any old how, into a tray and get that next cut on as quick as possible. After reading the goal, I learned that as the laser cutter is the bottleneck, any time it's not cutting or adding value, as they say, is lost time that I'll never ever get back. So it's all about getting that changed over nice and quick and cutting again. There's time lost on things like putting the guard on the floor that can definitely be improved. But here we're going to look at one of the tasks that I do in between cycles. This used to be done on the bed. It's now done on the tray whilst the laser cutter is adding value. So you can see these coloured discs. That's part of my Prism product. This is the smallest economical batch size that I can do. One product has 6, one of each colour of these discs. Anyway, to stop the laser light reflecting and making weird marks on the back of it, I put a special sheet of paper underneath. It absorbs the laser light, stops any charring, and generally gives a much better quality cut. Can't think of a better way of doing it. But this is something I used to do on the bed, just totally dead time, stopping the laser cutter from laser cutting, and it is a laser cutter after all. So this is a big improvement. It's these incremental changes that are really helping.
This is a closed window. And this is a blazing hot day. And here's my chiller working at full tilt, using loads of energy and making lots of noise. So I need a way of telling, is it hotter inside than outside? Because it's pretty close and it's difficult to tell. So what I've done is I've ordered a thermometer which will help me tell the difference. If it's hotter outside, I will keep the windows closed. If it's hotter inside, I will open the window to get some airflow through. I've got a sensor mounted just outside. So just next to the laser cutter, I've got this little readout. So it shows the indoor temperature currently at 19 degrees, outdoor 17.4. So at the moment, it's worth having all the doors and windows open. But as it gets hotter during the day, it'll be worth keeping them closed. So that's a lovely little addition. So it'll be interesting to see how the laser cutter performs at different temperatures as well. And that's located just next to the chiller, which kicks out all the hot air. Now, because I'm going to be keeping the doors closed more, I'm going to change the filter, the VOC filter in the extractor, which I don't do often enough. So I'm also going to start keeping a logger when I change it, maybe make a little label for the front. So let's get that done.
And underneath all the various bits of equipment, you'll spot these black and white pads. And that is in fact some acoustic damping. So on the video, it sounds ridiculously loud. It's not actually that loud in real life. It's probably akin to maybe a loud Hoover or a shop vac going. But I'm in a timber frame building, and some of those vibrations are conducted to the outer skin of the building. So I put these black acoustic pads in there, and it has massively reduce the amount of noise transferred to the outside of the building. Anyway, you can see just how quick a task that was. 400 quid's worth, mind, but a quick task that make life a lot more pleasant.
So that's the filter change. What a difference. It's basically odourless now, and it was really strong smell, and I used the VOC mask there. These VOC filters absorb an enormous amount of VOC. They go up in about 3 kilograms, I think, from a brand new one to a saturated one. So 3 kilograms of VOC, which is mental. Anyway, they need to be changed every 6 months. So I've put on a note of when I've changed the filter. I'm going to improve that and make it a little dry white one, laser cut something. And basically just maintain the discipline of changing it every 6 months and putting a little bit aside every month to pay for those filters, because they're expensive. It's about 400 quid a filter stack. So big improvement. It's going to be good for the health. And also now I'm going to be working with the windows closed. Much better for comfort levels and allow me to maintain the correct temperature for the chiller. So double win on that. I make these packaging sleeves for my measuring sets, make sure that they go as a large letter, and things very seldom, if ever, get broken in these. They're great. But what I used to do is, say if I had 15 measuring sets to produce that week, I'd batch cut 15 sets of packaging, which, as we all know, batch work is the enemy. So I've just changed this. I've changed my laser program so that literally I cut packaging, then cut the measuring set, and then pack it straight away, and it has massively improved the flow and reduced the amount of inventory sitting around. So a great little improvement. I stick these little circular labels in a lot of my products and packaging, and I hang it on the side of the laser cutter like a little dispenser. The downside is it often unravels, and it's actually hanging on the cable, so that's stressing the cable and it always falls off. So to improve that, I made this little thing in the old CAD. So it's a hanger, some holes for magnetising, so I'm going to 3D print that. We'll see if that solves a problem. So this is the part, just fresh off the printer. It's got a little flange to stop the tape going off, a radius to match the arc of the tape, and some magnets set in there so that you can grip the side. And hopefully that'll just clip on there. And we've got a nice little dispenser that won't fall off. Result. This little improvement is quite a simple one and about respect and communication. I'm sending these large sheets to be screen printed. There's a good and a less good side. I'm not going to expect a screen printer operator to check them all individually. So I've provided a note that says peel and print this side, please leave backing film on reverse, so there's no ambiguity. And also, because it's a human being at the other end, a little note that says thank you for all your hard work. I've worked various menial jobs in my early engineering career, and I know that would have gone a long way, and I would have made a special effort with someone who made a special effort with me. So we're going to send those off and see how they come back.